Another thing that you introduced in the book is the GEM method.
Hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what the method is about, what it's needed for,
Hmm.
and how it lives inside of this context of the panoramic leader?
Yeah, that's a great question because the GEM framework is what we use to help leaders update their maps. And GEM is a three-step model. It's GEM for the acronyms Get Up Close, Establish Meaningful Bonds, and Map Your Evolving Perspective. The first step to get up close, that means to say, talk to your stakeholders and understand how they're thinking. What does the world look like from where they are? What are they see
Yes,
as opportunities and challenges? How are they feeling? What is their perspective? And if something, it's not always possible to get up close to all of our stakeholders, but to the extent that we can, maybe it's reading about them or talking to someone else, um, approaching it from a different angle. And this is useful not just for the first meeting, but the more we can deepen our relationships with stakeholders, and this is the second step, establish meaningful bonds, the more we can establish a relationship that's based on trust. Because as we mentioned before, it's hard for leaders to get an accurate perspective from people right away, especially if there's a big gap in power between you. And so people often tell us what they think we want to hear. And the more our relationship is trust based, the higher the probability that we'll get the really important information and the truth of how they're seeing the world and different things that we can pay attention to and different things we can learn. And
totally.
once we establish that relationship, or even from step one, when we see someone else's perspective, we can start to bring those onto our map and integrate that into how we see the world and to expand the boundaries. And so the third step, map your evolving perspective. The first verb is to map and to include some of them. Definitely, we don't need to include all of them, but to understand them and to consider whether that's something we want to adapt or not. And then this map is also evolving. So that's why the third step is
Yes.
map your evolving perspective. And to give you an example, Hubert Joly was the CEO of Best Buy from 2012 to 2019. And when he started at Best Buy was facing a loss. And it was predicted that its suppliers and potentially competitors, such as Samsung and Microsoft and Apple, would run Best Buy out of the market. And what he
Yeah.
did was, Hubert Joly, he got up close. He took the first step. I'm sure he didn't have this framework in mind as he was doing this, but this is a great example. He got up close to these suppliers, to Samsung, Microsoft, and Apple, and he started to understand how they were thinking. And he didn't just meet with them once, he deepened his relationship with them over years. And through that, he understood that, look, these suppliers are not necessarily looking to take us out of the market. They need a place where consumers and potential customers can get up close to their products as well. And we can provide that as Best Buy. So he created what he called mini stores. And they invited these potential competitors or suppliers to come in and have their own space within the stores. And this really helped, this kind of a thinking and relationship really helped turn around Best Buy. And by the time Hubert Joly passed on the reins in 2019, the stock prices had more than tripled, and Best Buy was doing extremely well.